Hey guys, give me just a second here. I want to make sure y'all can hear me and see me and all the above. We are going to talk today about how I built a business with adversity. So, for those of you who have no idea who I am, my name is Lindsay Weiss. I am a coach with Team Beachbody. I'm an 11-star diamond coach, and I have been elite for 4 years in a row. And I've built a really incredible business. I've been a coach for a little over 5 years. So I have been doing this for a long time. And I want to take you back to when I first started my coaching business because it's so interesting whenever you decide to set a goal, a big, huge goal in your life. It's crazy how life just tackles you with like all kinds of challenges. If you want, like, if you set a goal, you're gonna get, like, the minute you tell everyone a new goal you've set, something crazy happens. You get sick or you get injured or whatever. Like, something crazy happens. And there's a barrier that you mentally have to break through, kind of like hammering, like hammering down a tree, if you will. Like, you have to keep, or axe, I guess you would use an axe. Like, you have to keep hitting and hitting and hitting until the tree finally falls. So that is what happened to me when I started coaching. So I want to tell you how I made it through, because I did. I've never missed a month in what we call Success Club. I am not, in all my almost, 5.5 years now, I've never missed a month. So what is it, that I did and how did I get through it? So I want to just walk you through it, and maybe it would help you as you start your own business. So when I started, I was an all-in person. I started right from like day one. I was like, tell me what to do and I'll go do it. And I, in fact, more than that, I actually was reaching out to people like, okay, how do I do this? And how do I do that? And tell me how to do this and tell me how to do that. And I was sort of like not sure about anything, right? Because when you start this thing, I don't think anyone knows. None of us have, any sort of experience in being a business owner, or the majority of us anyways. None of us know, like, we don't know much about social media or any of that stuff. And we're just kind of like, I don't know what I'm doing, but how do I, let me start somewhere. And so I took off, and by the first 60 days or 50 days or something like that, I hit what we call the diamond rank. And then 30 days behind that, I was a 1-star diamond coach. So I was already leading a team within 90 days of my business. And so from there, I was married. I think I'd been married a little over a year at that point, and my full-time job before that was in marketing, a 9 to 5, corporate thing. They shut the doors on that business, and so I had no income coming in. And they also, when you start a business from the ground up, it's going to take you time, right, to build, and it's going to take mental strength. And so we'd been married for, I think it was like a year and a half at that point. And I was like, okay, I was starting to catch the vision of the business a little bit. I was getting an idea very, at that point, I remember that our home the home we were living in at the time was getting ready to be short sailed. My husband had a really nice condo, and unfortunately, the area he was in, it was an area with older people, and they would die, and the houses, the kids would just sell the houses at a low rate, and it was I guess a bad economy time. So the value of the house was just not what he needed to make up, and we were trying to have a family and all these things. We were newlyweds, and it was like, okay, it's time to move. So he ended up losing the house. And I remember him saying to me, like, there's going to be no vacation anytime soon. We're trying to get into a new house and all these things. And I was like, okay, but I noticed that you had an opportunity to earn a trip with Beachbody. And I was like, I'm going to do that. I'm going to earn that trip. And so my vision of just earning that trip that year was what really got me to understand, like, the components that you need every month to move your business forward. And I knew I needed to hit those every single month if I wanted to go to the Bahamas. That was the opportunity that I had at the time. So while all that was great, I did have some major adversities hit me. So I want to walk you through those and how I pushed forward. For one, I found out that I had polycystic ovarian syndrome, which is an autoimmune disorder. And here I was 30 years old, or 29 or 30 at the time. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, how did nobody tell me this in all these years I've been alive? Like, I've seen the doctor constantly. So that was a big blow because I assumed that I was put on this earth to have a family, and I assumed that I was supposed to have kids and stuff, and I was facing infertility. I was facing the scariest, hardest thing. Looking back on it, I wrote a blog all about, that's how I was out. When you're in a position of, like, you have this vision to have a family and the holidays with your family and have kiddos, and you want to see what they're going to look like. And all of a sudden it's like, I don't know if this is going to happen. I know we can go through treatments. I know you have this autoimmune issue. I know infertility is a part of it. I know weight gain is a part of it. I know it's going to be hard. And here I was coming up on, I think, month 4 or 5 as a coach. And usually your first 6 months to a year are hard. Like, they just are. You're building a business from the ground up. It's hard. And what was it that kept me going? Because here now, not only was this getting hard, but I was facing one of the things that was so exciting about being a coach was being home and being able to be a mom and be present with my kids. And here I was being told by a doc, like, we're going to fight, but we don't know what's going to happen. So here I was facing one of the most mentally challenging things you can face, because you have no control. And if you like to be in control of things, like for me, this is so random, but my birthday's a week before Christmas. My husband's birthday's a week after Christmas. My mom's birthday's on Christmas. And we were like, please, let's plan this out so we have kids that are born in the summer so we can separate it, right? And I couldn't even do that. Like, I had to get help. And so I started facing infertility, and I had to go through treatment after treatment after treatment after treatment, shots, injections, all kinds of really different, on the way up to IVF. And that was hard, because every month you would get, no, bad news, no. And it was like, you'd walk out of the doctor's office in tears. And yet I was supposed to be, building this business because I was supposed to be a mom and these things. And it was like, why is everything crumbling? But I never missed a month, let alone a day, in my business through all of that. And the whole house thing was happening at the same time, right? The house was, he couldn't sell this condo to save his life and make the difference. Like, it just wasn't happening. And I'm trying to think if I want to say we had a couple other things. I mean, just the fact that I had lost my job, so that income was gone at the time. A lot of craziness going on in that beginning time, when most people are like, oh, no, let me put this business on the back burner. I need to focus on this. What I did was I got my hands on a book called First Steps to Wealth by Danny Johnson, and Push by Chalene Johnson. So it was all about the Johnsons, right? And when Danny Johnson tells her story in the book, and she talks about all the stuff she went through. I was like, I can handle this. Like, this is going to be freaking hard, but I can do this. If she can do that, I can do this. And I went to her event and I heard her live, and I was like, wow. Like, when I heard her full story, I was just like, her story is intense. And I was like, okay, I can do this. And it built my belief in myself. And I was I was in this community of super supportive people. We're still there. And I was able to, I just had so much support from them. They were like, you can do this. You got this. They were, rooting me on, cheering me on. And so that helped. And it was just one of those outlets where, it felt good to pay it forward. It felt good to help other people while I was going through very tough times. I was able to help others, and the business built. And I had this vision of like, if I do this, where could this business be a year from now? What if one day the doc is like, hey, the treatment's worked, and 9 months from then I'm going to be a mom. Like, I want to be able to afford all the things, right? So one day did come, and I got pregnant after I'm trying to recall that treatment. It was like, let me just tell you, it was shots. It was there pills? I know it was for sure. It was the injections that you have to take, and then, and the final injection you take before the whole treatment goes on, the bottle had broken, and they had mailed it to me, and I was panicked, driving all over town. You had to take it between certain hours, and for some reason the doctor wouldn't, or the nurses were like, someone else has to do it. But I ended up in their office, and I was like, I need help. It was crazy. I was in tears, but that was the final treatment that I got. And I have twins. They're twin boys now. They're going to be 4 this week, which is crazy how time flies. But I never missed a month. I showed up every day. I felt an obligation to share this with people. It was a great way for me to stay positive, to keep my mindset straight. Personal development was everything to us, or to me and my husband, because he did go to see Danny Johnson with me. So he was in on everything and being supportive because he was there. So, my best advice is to stay plugged in with your team, and maybe write in a journal when you're going through really tough stuff, because I blogged about it and it really helped me get something out. And then I wasn't super negative on Facebook. When I was having really hard days, I would cry for like a day, and then I'd get up the next day and I'd be like, okay, round 2, let's go again. And it was like I had something worth fighting for, and I kept fighting for it. And I ended up earning that trip. So that was really cool, because once we went there, I was like, wow, this is such an incredible business. And it even built belief even more for me, and fueled me, filled me up, fueled me, whatever you want to call it. So I will say that I do think that a lot of people will go through some kind of adversity, some kind of challenge. Like, I don't think life is meant to be easy. I think that you're going to face, isn't that what God said? Like, you're still going to face trials and tribulations. But you can pray and find peace and all these things through your challenges in life. And for me, like, I just had the voice that kept saying, you keep helping people, you keep showing up every day, use the workouts, sweat it out, right? Sweat the stress out. And I had Turbo Fire back then, and I was sweating it out, and I was dancing it up. And I was gaining weight. That's another crazy thing that happened. I'm still on a journey. I gained 100 pounds with those kids because medicine, hormone medicine, bed rest, in and out of the hospital through a whole entire pregnancy, constantly you had to sit on the couch. The only thing I could do is take a shower, because I had to create a healthy baby. And that's where Chalene Johnson's push book helped, because she helped me keep my priorities straight. Like, I knew family came first, so my priorities were in line with what they needed to be in line with. In fact, before I got pregnant, I did have a miscarriage, and I was supposed to be at the leadership event. I had earned it my first year, and I had a miscarriage the day I was supposed to go on a plane, and I wish I would have gotten on the plane, but it was what it was at the time, and I was in a bad place. But I stuck with, Danny Johnson, and when Shalene kind of breaks down like what priority needs to be in line and how to still hit goals by honoring priorities, I think that was a game changer for me. And she still, to this day, if you follow her, she still will teach you those methods of like, what are the top 3 things you need to do every day? Just 3 things, 3 10-minute tasks. That's 30 minutes. What is it that you need to do that will move you forward, right? Because we all know that, this business takes hard work. It takes mental strength. It takes showing up every day, being consistent, right? Like those are important things for people to trust you. They want to make sure you're there for them, right? And so what she does is she really helps you break down, like, and for me, it's easy. I write out a to-do list. I know exactly what needs to get done. I get it done in certain blocks of time, and all the tough stuff going on around me is still happening, but I'm still very disciplined to get that work done. So I hope this video helps you. At the end of the day, I really think that it's based off of you working on yourself, personal development, making sure you still show up to your workouts. I know I can tell you that year I did go elite for the first time, which was super cool. And I didn't do anything too crazy. It was very 3 to 5 new people joined the team a month with me. I encouraged them how to build their business. I was able to teach them because that they all wanted to earn the trip, and I was like, this is how you do it. Like, you got to help other people. It's the whole purpose of building this business, right? And so I think that, all those key pieces, and here I was growing baby, so I was gaining weight through this whole thing. But if you just share your truth and you share your story and you're honest with people about where you're at in life, even if you get injured or something and you can't work out, I know some people feel like they've got to like shut down and they can't build a business anymore because they can't show a workout. But it's like, no, like, just be honest. People understand, like, in all the years, in all my 5.5 years, an injury, a sickness, things can happen, and a business can still move forward. I just have to show up every single day and work, right? Because we have no guarantees, right? Everything is based on your effort and diligence and skill, like our little disclaimer says. Like, you have to show up and do all the things. So I hope this video is helpful to you. You can go check out my YouTube for my stories of where it brought us. I know it's been worth every ounce of hard work I've put in. Looking back, I'm so thankful I had that vision of where could Lindsay be a year from now if I show up every day and do the work? Where could Lindsay be 2 years from now? And like, looking back 5.5 years, I'm just like, wow, I am so glad I showed up. Even on the days you kind of don't want to, you still show up and just do just a little bit, right? You still show up. So thanks for listening. I hope this is helpful to you, and I will chat with you later.